We now know the name of the man killed at a Milwaukee intersection yesterday afternoon. CBS 58's Stephanie Rodriguez is live where it happened with what we learned today.
He was a well-known man in Milwaukee. His name is he's Julio Sostre, and he was 30 years old. He was a Milwaukee barber. He was shot here yesterday, later dying at a local hospital. You can see there's been some flowers placed right in the intersection where he was shot yesterday. I spoke with some family members off camera today who tell me he didn't deserve this. On Thursday, multiple rounds of gunfire were shot into this SUV on the corner of Layton and Pierce. There were two victims, a 30-year-old man and a 5-year-old child. CBS 58 has confirmed with the family of the victim that his name is Julio Sostre, better known as Pook the Barber. He worked here at Uptop Barbershop on North Fulton Street, using this chair with the words "influence cuts" to give haircuts. We were not able to get a photo of the 30-year-old, but his loved ones described him as an amazing person, not only to his family, but to anyone he could lend a hand to. Another called him an amazing father. We're still working to learn more about the 5-year-old child that was also shot in the car. Police said he suffered serious gunshot injuries. 8th District Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa called the shooting tragic, going on to say, quote, "Children and families shouldn't have to fear gunfire while in their car or anywhere else for that matter. I will continue to work to bring more anti-violence resources to Milwaukee's South Side." Again, you're looking at the flowers that were placed here in the intersection where Julio Sostre was shot yesterday. Milwaukee police continue to look for an unknown suspect in this case. They couldn't confirm to me today if they believe this was a random attack or if it was targeted. Reporting live in Milwaukee, Stephanie Rodriguez, CBS 58 News.
Milwaukee, a man is dead and a child in critical condition after a double shooting along a busy street.
The gunfire rang out this afternoon near Layton and Pierce. This is just north of National Avenue.
TMJ4's Miriam McCart talked to a witness who rushed in to help the victims.
A busy intersection near Mitchell Park, sitting empty Thursday afternoon. All that's there, a black SUV littered with bullet holes and surrounded with evidence markers. Hours before, a 30-year-old man and a 7-year-old child, victims in a shooting there. A man was riding his bike here in the area when he heard the shots ring out and rushed over to help. I talked to that man who wanted to remain anonymous.
I was just in shock, too, as everybody else. I was like, whoa, that just happened in like 0.5 seconds.
He saw another car quickly drive away after firing the shots.
Next thing you know, he collapsed out of his car. I rode my bike straight to the person. I just ran up and helped. That's all I could think about, is just helping out.
He was in the middle of tending to the man who was hit when he was told there was a child in the back seat.
And I ran around the car, make sure that the kid was okay, and he got shot in his nose, on his left nostril, and then he started bleeding bad.
A police captain tells us the child is stable but in serious condition, and the man died from his injuries at the scene. Hours after the tragedy, the intersection still taped off, and investigators taking photos to piece together what happened.
This is shocking.
Anyone with information should contact the Milwaukee Police Department or Crime Stoppers. In Milwaukee, Miriam McCart, TMJ4 News.
Before the meeting for the future of the Mitchell Park Domes today, our crews were on the scene when a scary turn of events took place. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Jessa Breisbeck. A popular gathering place on Milwaukee's South Side became a crime scene this afternoon. Right around 4:30, there was a shooting outside Mitchell Park. CBS 58's AJ Bayatpour was there when it happened. He joins us live now. First off, AJ, we are glad you and your photojournalist are safe tonight.
Jessup, thank you. We were getting ready to give that live report outside the domes when we heard about 8 gunshots. There was a brief pause, then about 4 or 5 shots happened. We looked down the street and we saw a man fall out of an SUV. He then was on the ground, unresponsive. We have since learned a 30-year-old died at the scene and a young child was shot and wounded. Milwaukee police squad cars raced toward Mitchell Park from all directions late Thursday afternoon. Around 4:30, a gunman fired shots into an SUV at the intersection of Layton and Pierce.
All I heard was a whole bunch of cars beeping, everybody getting out their cars. I didn't even hear the shots. That's the crazy part. I didn't hear the shots.
Ciel Marie Vargas says she was 3 or 4 cars behind the victim, waiting at a red light. We were further up on Layton and started recording immediately after the shooting stopped. Our camera barely catches a silver SUV speeding away from the scene north on Layton. After that, a frantic scene as onlookers either try to help or stand in awe.
I park my car, everybody's getting out their cars. I go to see what's going on, and I'm just in disbelief. I see a kid shot. I see the guy shot. I was in shock.
Both the video we record and video Vargas shared with us shows a man unresponsive and a child being treated. Milwaukee police later say a 30-year-old died at the scene and a 7-year-old suffered what they described as non-fatal injuries. Vargas later learns she has a connection to this shooting, aside from being a witness.
I have families who that's their family, so it's just crazy to think like it just keeps hitting closer and closer to home.
One more reason Vargas wants the gun violence to stop.
We all have parents and siblings we would like to come home to. I feel like it's never that deep that you have to take somebody's life.
By 7:30 tonight, the scene was almost entirely clear. Aside from these candles that a couple of people just lit at the scene, you would have never known that this was the scene of a fatal shooting just 4 or 5 hours ago. However, for all the witnesses who were gathered here this afternoon, and for one young child, this is something that's going to stick with them forever. Reporting live from Milwaukee South Side, AJ Bayapor, CBS 58 News.
Probably going to stick with you forever, too, as well, AJ.